Hello guys, and welcome back to my color grading suite here in Switzerland. My name is Dave, and today's look breakdown is an image video called Craftsmanship, Sapphire and Rainbow. It is an internationally active jewelry manufacturer called FRIEDEN. Before we dive in, I want to say sorry that it took so long to produce this look breakdown, but I was very busy. Stick with me till the end also today, because I have some additional color grading info for you, and this is the final look. Before we go into the color grading process, we need context. FRIEDEN, a jewelry manufacturer based in Thun since 1908, originated in Langnau in Emmental by Emil FRIEDEN. Thanks to the high quality of the filigree technique and the artistically superior floral motifs of the silver jewelry, the craftsman workshop quickly enjoyed an excellent reputation. Today, the traditional FRIEDEN company is still a family business. The values that were already important to the founding generation have carried FRIEDEN's reputation throughout the world, creating trust through quality thinking, responsibility, honesty and service to the customer. The tradition and the art of craftsmanship is lived at FRIEDEN and enjoys a great respect from all over the world. It is therefore no coincidence that the director and DOP created a very authentic image film where craftsmanship is the focus. Since it is about jewelry and jewels such as sapphires, the look should be mystical and cool. In this way, we emphasize on the one hand the mystical craft, and on the other hand, with the cool look, the noble and high quality result that comes out of it. The image film consists of 3 parts with 3 different craftsmen. Today I show you one of them. And now let's dive into the process. So guys, and this is the setup in the group pre-clip. I did with the color space transformer transformation from Sony White Gamut to Davinci White Gamut, and of course in the group post clip, then I converted from Davinci White Gamut to Rec 709. What did I do here? You put some notes after the CST. Yeah, just relax guys. I mean, I had a better result, so I did it that way. On this note here, surprise, I did an S-curve and I didn't had the same result as if I put it before. So I decided to put it that way and it works fine. And then on this note, it is a more advanced fade effect. This one here is the look. It was, like I said in the description, it is a cooler tone. You see that in a minute in full power when I do the primaries and the secondary adjustments. And then here I corrected the skin tone twice, so it was simply a copy paste. I did that with the hue versus hue and some RGB mixer tweaks. And then here on this note here, let's see, everything that is blue I shifted a little bit to cyan. And then here, let's zoom in, I implemented a little bit of blue in the lower third of the image and a little bit of green. Here I subtracted the red tone, so we have an overall bluish starting point. And the cool look, it was as simple as always. I made it with the HDR offset wheel, just a little bit of blue. And that's basically it. The challenge is to go from this greenish yellow into a clean blue. Like I described before in the group post clip, I did already something, but it's not enough, of course. So I start as always with the exposure. I did it for this project with the offset. So let's see what we have. Yeah, something like that is good. Yeah, before and after. So the director liked the overall exposure. First we went darker, but then during the grade we decided a little bit brighter, so not too mystique. So, but what we liked were that we have to put him a little bit more into the foreground. So here in the secondary, I make a mask. I surround him a little bit, something like that. It's don't have to be perfect, otherwise it looks like rotoscoping, just broad. And then just a little bit of gain, a little bit of gamma, so we lift the mid part of the contrast, maybe something like that, a little bit darker. So before and after, before and after. Let's loop it. Yeah, exposure wise, perfect. We go further. The contrast here on the second note, I don't change anything. Sometimes I do some log adjustment, sometimes with the contrast knob here, but I'm pretty happy. So white balance wise, I have to go a little bit cooler, and I go with the HDR wheels. Not much, because it should feel natural, authentic, but we have to put this blue look inside without distraction. So let's put it that way. I go with the HDR wheel to green, maybe a little bit more, something like that in between. Let's see if I can adjust it. Too strong. It's always a back and forth, because there is some sweet spot between the background that became blue and the shirt, and the skin tones remains natural. So I have to really work with minimal steps to really nail it. Let's see what we have. Something like that. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Something like that. So then I go to the tint, because it's a little bit too green, and with the tint still in the HDR mode, I put a little bit of magenta, something like that, so the skin tones remain, let's say, credible. So we went from this one to this one, before and after. And now, as always, I want to guide the viewer's eye, so I want to focus a little bit more on him. So this brighter part of the location, we don't need that. So we really can focus on him. I don't want to dark his hair or his face, so I really concentrate on the right part of the image. Let's check. So now make it darker. Before and after, it's not bad, but I wanted to make a little bit softer so it feels more natural. Before and after. I push play. That's pretty good. Like it so far. I want to go to the group post clip just to show you the difference that makes these notes here. So if I switch off the skin tones and blue curve, it will look like that. And after, before and after. We go a step further. This one I try to copy paste. So of course now it's too bright. Yeah, so what I do, I get rid of this mask because I don't need that. Then in the adjustment clip, I go to the HDR wheel and then I darken it down quite a bit. Something like that. I just want to check the exposure. Yes, pretty good. Don't have to change anything here. The white balance is good. What bothers me is this yellow part here, because the blue tone should dominate the whole image. I am a little bit too distracted of this yellowish part here. So with the hue versus sat, I really desaturate that part. So now you may ask, yeah, who cares? But if you look at on full screen, before and after, now we are really in this color scheme that I described before, these bluish tones, and we are not distracted anymore. But what I do here, I want to put a little bit more contrast into the diamond or whatever it is. Something like that. I want to track it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's good. So now I want to, with the gamma, here on the primaries, I lift it up a little bit so it gets shinier, not too much. And then with the midtone detail, I emphasize, let's say, the sharpness a little bit. So it stands out a little bit more. So before and after, before and after. Let's see if I missed something. Yeah, this vignette doesn't make sense like that. I want a vignette, but not this way. Because what bothers me is this brighter part down there, here, and here on the skin. So I really squeeze the whole mask to create depth. Something like that. Yes, even darker to make it more mystical. Before and after, before and after. Let's see. Perfect. Let's move to the next one. Yes, this one, if I'm not mistaken, it's already another location, because this image video takes a couple of minutes and I just chose some part of it. But anyway, I wanted to copy paste. This looks already pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, so we have to adjust something. So in this adjustment node, I reset it. Yeah, that's better. I want to implement even more bluish tone on this one. So in this adjustment node, I go to the HDR wheels. First, I switch off the vignette node. Yeah. And then down here, I really cool down the image quite a bit. So we have this cooler tone, something like that. So before and after, before and after. So we are again in this world, in this cooler world. Yeah, good. So the most difficult part, it's already done. I don't need this mask that I did on the ring. Let's switch that off. Hue versus sat is good, but I wanted to even desaturate more the skin tone, because I don't like in this context this strong reddish tone here. If you see closely, if you watch closely, I don't like that now for this particular mood. So with the hue versus sat, I desaturated quite a bit, even the yellowish tone, so it looks more filmic. Before and after. And I remember that the director liked the whole concept here, but he had a really good idea to brighten up just the brighter part of the skin to create more contrast. So for this context, I go again to the HDR wheels with the offset, and I darken down the image a little bit, like that. And then with the qualifier, I switch off the hue and the saturation, because I need just the luma, because I want to change just the light, let's say. So I push the highlight button, and then I try to isolate the brighter parts of the skin. With the low softness down here, I make some nice and soft transitions, not too much. Maybe something like that. Let's try something like that. So now you could guess, yeah, now with the gain, I brighten up the image. But yes and no. What I did is I increase the gain, but only the Y, so only the luma, because if I use everything, then I increase also the saturation of the skin, and I don't want to do that. So with the gain, I just brighten up here, just the luma value, before and after, before and after. Now it looks really, really interesting and really filmy, because at the same time we don't increase the saturation. Let's watch it again. Yeah, really, really good. I like this technique and I use it a lot. We go to the next one. This one, it's maybe similar to the first one. Let's see. Yeah, more or less. So I switch off this mask and I draw manually something like that. Yeah, now I track it. I need pan, tilt and zoom. Yes, I need also zoom, that's good. So track it. Perfect. I adjust here a little bit. And now I soften the mask quite a bit, even inside a little bit. And now let's see what happens. I don't do it with the offset because I don't want to lift the shadow that much, but a little bit. So I do it with the gain mainly. Something like that. And then with the gain, maybe a little bit darker. Something like that. Before and after. Let's see. What bothers me before I can really start to finesse the image is this part here. As you can see, it's too bright and too saturated, so it bothers me a lot because the whole attention of the viewers goes to the arm instead of the face and the eyes and so on. So I make here another mask, pretty standard. I zoom in, I go like that, I track it. Pretty good. With the hue versus sat, as you see, I use some pretty simple tools. And now I darken it down quite a bit. Like that. Let's see. Before and after, before and after. Let's watch it. Pretty good. Love that. So now it has too much of green, so look wise, so I implement in the adjustment node quite a bit of blue, like in the image before. Let's see, this one here. Yeah, it was like, I don't remember, let's watch, 1640, and here also minus 1640. Yes. Now it looks cool. A little bit too strong, but it was bluer because it is another location, so and another time. So I go something in between, something like that. That's good. Before and after, pretty good. Now we have again this cool look and the skin tone looks credible. Let's go further. So this one should be the same as this one here. Let's see. Let's see here what we have. Hue versus sat, it's okay, maybe not so much. The mask we don't need, that's okay. Let's switch off the adjustment layer and the adjustment node. Let's keep it. Here I do the same thing like here. So I copy the Luma mask and I put it here, and let's see if it works. More or less, huh? Something like that, maybe less soft. Let's watch it. Before and after, that's good. Let's see. Yeah, pretty good. Yes, I do even increase this part here because he's working in macro level, so it should be a little bit brighter for my taste. So I go again with the gamma. Yes, like that, a little bit of gain, not too much. And then I track it before and after. So we really focus on that part. And vignette, for my taste, yeah, maybe a little bit. And here we need also a little bit of vignette. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, it's not bad, but here we have to create a little bit more depth. So I go this way, around. So the arm, it's not in focus anymore. Before and after, go a little bit darker, so it's more interesting. Yes, before and after. Pretty good. Here I do a little bit of vignette. Let's see what we have. No. What I don't like is this bright skin here. So the rest, it's pretty good, but this part, it's too flat. Something like that. Yeah, I move the mask a little bit on the center, a little bit more. Yeah, before and after. This one here, it's already quite the end of the original clip. And this is when he's finished to create this jewels, let's say this ring. And since it is similar to that, I copy paste. And now we have a little bit of work. So I switch off the vignette because it doesn't make sense for me this way. I switch off the adjustment layer. Okay, that's better, but too bright. And then the hue versus sat, maybe later. I want to really nail the exposure first. So I go to the adjustment node, and with the HDR wheel, I darken it down a little bit, not too much. Let's check. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Let's see what happens at the end. Yeah, now it shines. So here first it's of course in the shade and it doesn't look good, but then it looks good. So we have to optimize it anyway. So look wise it is okay. But now I want to desaturate a little bit the skin tone. Let's see. Here. Not too much. Just a little bit. And then I want to change the hue a little bit to yellow. Not too much. That's good. This mask I don't need that strong, but I want to emphasize the ring a little bit. And I do it twice. You will see in a second how I do it. Yeah, that spot looks good and it doesn't look fake. That's important for this clip. That's good. So before I put some glow in there, I really want to focus the viewer's eye. So I do a totally different shape. So I create like a spot, let's say, something like that. Yes. And then I create an outside node, add node, add outside node. So now with the gain wheel, I darken down the outside of the mask quite a bit, not too strong. And then I soften it quite a bit, like that. Let's see how it looks. That's good. Maybe a little bit more focused, more tight, tighter, something like that. And here we go outside, like that. Then in the outside note, I brighten up with the gamma a little bit more. This is too much. Just a little bit. So we already relighted the whole shot. So before both mask and then after. Both, we don't know where to focus our eyes, and now it's pretty clear and pretty obvious. Before and after. And then after all, we go with the glow. I don't like the add, as you see on my other look breakdown. I go, not always, but 99%, I go with the screen mode because I don't increase the saturation. And I want to go subtle on that one. So I create a mask like that. Now I go on the brighter part, because if I do it here, then it maybe looks good, but then when the ring goes into the light, then it's too bright. So I focus on the end frame, let's say, that it looks good. So too much, yeah, something like that, because I don't want to lose the structure. This is already too much for my taste. So I go here, I go with the key tab and I put 50% before and after. That's already good. And then on the same note, I increase the mid-toned detail a little bit. Let's watch it again. Yeah, it's pretty shiny. The viewer's eye, it's pretty well done before and after. I like that very much. Then the last shot should be the same as the first, this one here. So I copy paste it. I go to the mask. Let's see. I don't like it that bright for the end frame. Maybe something in between, maybe like that. Then the vignette can be stronger, maybe like that. And this one here feels a little bit more flat, the way he stands now. So in the vignette note, I really make it darker, pretty darker. And maybe not only with the gain, but also with the gamma. So we really create depth into the image. Something like that, before and after. I don't like that the mask goes over his head. So maybe like that. Let's see, full screen, before and after, before and after. I like that it goes down here, it creates even more depth. Before and after, that's pretty good. And this is how it looks overall. This is the second location. Yeah. Pretty good. So I know I went, I think, a little bit quicker, but this is because here on the group post clip I did the main part. As you have noticed, what I did on the clip level was just exposure and a little bit of white balance tweak, and then the rest was vignette and a mask or hue versus sat, because here I spent, I can tell you, amount of time to really nail it, that the skin looks the way it looks now. And even with the fade, it makes also a big difference how the shadow feels. And maybe you see it here. It has really this nice soft black levels. At the end, it's always simple, but with the fade and with the skin here, it's pretty well done with this adjustment. And this is it, guys. Thank you very much for your attention. Like I said in the intro section before, I have some additional color grading information. A couple of months ago, I was invited for an interview from Clap the Slate. These are some dudes from Switzerland, and they make some interviews with people from the film industry, and I was their first guest. And maybe you like that because they asked me questions like what I was before a colorist, how I became a colorist, why I became a colorist, how I get my clients. We talked about gear and stuff like that. So in the description below, you will find the link. If you want to support my channel and you like the content, like I said in the previous look breakdown, you can buy me a coffee, and how it works, it is in the description below too. As you have seen, I have a completely new intro animation and outro animation, as you will see, and some call to action button. So next week, if I have time, because I'm on a short holiday, I will make a review of these customizable templates. And if you enjoyed my channel, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like and spread the word. And like I always say, focus always on story and keep it simple. Thank you very much.